Hey, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
I'm Steele Saunders. Welcome to Steele Wars. And I love Star Wars. It's so late. I've forgotten the intro, Hawes. Can you do it for me?
I'm Steele Saunders, and I do love Star Wars.
Excellent. Keep going.
And each and every week, I find somebody of interest to talk about it with.
That's very extended.
Yeah.
I can't think. Do you know what the only thing I can think about right now, Hawes?
Filoni baloney, huh?
The hat. What was the hat doing?
Just its thing, man. Doing its own thing.
Last year we had this.
Mm-hmm.
This year we had this.
I saw somebody tweeting and said, "Oh my God, did you guys catch the cameo?" And I was like, I'm pretty sure everybody caught that cameo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It was right in your face.
People that haven't, will never watch the episode have seen the cameo.
Mm-hmm. People who don't know who Dave Filoni is, what's the guy in the hat doing?
Is that Cad Bane? Is that Cad Bane's brother?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm more excited than ever for the Filoni film. All right. How about this? Before we haven't discussed anything about the episode.
Except my new thing now is when we're watching Star Wars at the same time is to send you a non-specific reaction text to see if you can guess what I'm talking about. Like when I sent you the one that said, "Oh boy." Oh boy.
Yeah, but it was a total different thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you sent "so sick." What was your "so sick" thing?
Well, you guess, buddy.
When the Mandalorian cessed into the fighter.
That was sick.
That was
dope. The TIE Interceptor's launching.
That was that was my guess before when I was
right.
watching, because I was like, what's his "so sick" bit? Okay, the question coming out of the episode is this, before we get into our feelings about the actual episode, which are mixed. The highs, the lows. Was that the last episode of The Mandalorian?
Buddy, I was asking the same question. It felt like that could be the end of the series, right? I don't think it is. So, during Celebration, Jon Favreau said he was writing the 4th season. Well, he also said they were writing the 3rd season when they were doing Book of Boba Fett. So who knows what he was talking about. But he did say that he's writing a 4th season.
He also said he didn't have a set end, but then they announced a film that was going to conclude it.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's very honest.
No, I think it seems like it could be, or maybe it's the end of this arc.
This is a brutal comment.
I saw it.
James Waterman, Sam, the mythosaur took one look at the writing for this season and was like, nah, I'll sit this one out. I thought there'd be more of him. And the end, the little zoom in on Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
But then they did also really spell out they were going to go on other adventures.
Yeah, I think this is the end of this arc, not necessarily the end of the show.
Yeah. Grief Karga's dialogue has gone downhill. Rick Ollie would watch this season of The Mandalorian and go, stop explaining everything, mate.
I did like him giving the deed. And that house looks pretty sick, gotta be honest. Nice little house on Navarro. Sheesh.
It looked like it had an Australian gum tree out the front, CGI'd in.
Oh, I don't even know what that is. That's a type of foliage that I've never seen.
That's where the koalas live, buddy.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
Should we go through some of the? Let's get your thoughts, and then we'll go into some user submitted rants.
So I really liked it. I mean, I'll be honest. I was kind of like really digging it in the moment of watching it. I had a lot of fun. Do I think this episode or this season was perfect? By no means, right? But I found it satisfying. Like I like and me included, right? So many of us are like, "Oh, who's going to be the crazy person that shows up in this? What's going to be the big crazy?" You know what I mean? Cameo or whatever, or character appearance. And I kind of like that they just focused on the characters that this story is about. You know what I mean? And I thought that made it very satisfying.
For those listening to the podcast, I'm clapping.
Yeah, I thought that was actually a really good choice. And like, you get a certain amount into the episode and you're like, well, they're not, I mean, at this point, if they do something, it's going to be a little weird. But like, I actually really dug that it was more focused on just the characters that the story is about. Like you want to know one of my big complaints, and it's stupid that this is a complaint, but I wish we would have seen some of those Mandalorian fighters and like dog fights with the ties, like a bit of a space battle going on. Now I think the maneuver they did was sick. I just like to see a little, a little bit of dog fight.
But the point was that they weren't dogfighting Hawes.
I know. I get it. I wanted to see it, man. That's what I said. I've got small complaints. I enjoyed it as a whole.
I would say the Mando part of the first part of the episode, I loved. Anything that was Mandalorian, anything that was happening on the other side, no.
So what do you mean by other side? Because everything seemed kind of Mandalorian to me. Do you mean Mandalorian as the character, the Mandalorian Din Djarin?
No. Like with the Mandalorians, like
Oh, okay.
Bo-Katan and stuff. Where did Grogu come from? In IG-12, just appeared in that Imperial base.
You mean that set that is also the same set from Obi-Wan, where he snuck into the Imperial base? I'm telling you, that's a reuse.
Oh, okay. He just
I don't know.
out of no.
I don't know on that one, buddy.
And the whole thing of R5D4 killing me. The jetpacks, like I was just.
I almost texted you, oh boy, when I saw the jetpacks, because I know your feelings on those as it is, and the combination of R5 and those jetpacks, I was like, ooh, I gotta text him, but I held back.
Well, I was hating it, right, as he's like came out and he's wheeling in, and I was just like, this is terrible. Then he jetpacked down, and I notoriously dislike the R2-D2 jetpacks in Attack of the Clones. However, I've softened on them because they're very useful in Lego Star Wars.
Okay.
And Lego Star Wars on the iPhone makes my son very happy. So there was one point where we didn't know where to go next, and I tried R2-D2's jetpack over, and that was the way to go, and Harry was really impressed. So now I'm sort of like, jetpack's not so bad. But anyway, when he did jetpack down, that was such a hard troll on me that I just started laughing and going, oh, actually, no, this is the best thing ever. It got so hardcore. But answer me this. These Imperial computer systems, like the most secure part of the whole base, just any old droid can go up and turn off. It just seems.
Buddy.
Am I crazy?
Yeah, because listen, what should be more secure than the Death Star, right? And R2D2 interfaces with those computers and does all kinds of things,
No,
buddy.
but it's like the highest security part of the building. Am I nuts?
On this one, just a little bit.
All right, we've gotta get
Just
some
on this
comments.
one.
We've got to get some comments.
Because
on this.
R2, like this, the Death Star should be the most secure base in all of Imperial history, and he's able to hack into that thing and turn off trash compactors and whatnot, get whole plans.
But couldn't turn off the tractor beam.
Well, that's because it was manual Steele, and Obi-Wan had to
'Cause it
pull
was
that lever.
important. Come on, I can't be full nutbag on this. You have to just
No, buddy, on this one I don't, because all we see are droids doing this kind of thing. If there wasn't precedent for it, then maybe.
Okay, James Waterman. Ha ha ha! I accepted BB-8 in a trash can in The Last Jedi.
He's got a point.
What does he mean by that?
Like-
oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Okay, and blowing literally the entire mission, so I can accept that. At least there's consistency, I guess. Oh, okay. Salad von Bacco. Steele is nuts on this one, honestly.
Most of the time,
Hey, Hawes, how about we open up the echo chamber? How about Salad, you are blocked, bro. Okay, I agree that the droids R2-D2 and the likes have always been able to interface with the high security things of Empire in Star Wars always. Okay, well, wait, okay. All right, I'll concede. I did, however, reset because I did want to enjoy the episode, and I was like, I'm furious at R5D4, but once he stopped, once he flew off, I was sort of like, oh, sick. But the bit when so up until then, all the Mandalorian stuff, Bo-Katan, I was super into, flying around, great stuff. Then when IG-12 got cut up, that's when the episode was just sick, like insane.
Yeah, they really chucked that puppet a few more times too, huh?
But I was loving that, like that. I was into that. Was sick. That was
I-
really.
Buddy, I thought the whole confrontation from the moment he flushes his clones down the toilet, and then it's like him and Gideon fight, then Bo-Katan comes in, and then Grogu gets separated with the Praetorian Guards, then Din's with Grogu, then they're back. Like, I thought that was all pretty neat. And some of that fight choreography was pretty sick too, man.
Very, very captivating. And what about the tag team of Force Grogu? Mm-hmm. And Din, and then later on Bo-Katan. Like, there's some good, like, I don't know. Do you know the wrestling tag team, the Young Bucks?
I do not.
Well, they're very good at doing like team maneuvers, bouncing off each other and stuff. And they were, they reminded me of the Young Bucks. There's this week's wrestling reference. Horse.
And buddy, so listen, I take pride in knowing my friends and what they like and don't like in Star Wars, right? And one thing I know you like is a good run-in. When the comm came through and it was the armor and she said, Lady Kryze, your reinforcements are here, and it's all the Mandalorian ships coming in. Ooh.
Hawes, could you answer Sam
Okay.
Tasticon's question? Okay.
Yeah, Sam,
who
I got
were
you,
the
buddy.
spies?
Listen, I did not originate this theory. I saw this theory online, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. So the theory is that the spies refers to, it's a bit of a biblical reference. It refers to this part in the Bible when Moses sends 12 spies into the land of Canaan, which is the promised land, to scout it and see if it's, safe for them to go and try to settle. So they're referred to as spies, I guess, in some translations. So a lot of people seem to think that maybe that's what it's a reference to. And then when you watch that episode with that in mind, I could see that being the case. I could certainly see that being the case.
I'm so happy that all the Mandalorians turned out to be good.
I was really hoping that wasn't going to be the case, that somebody was bad. I was pretty stoked with it.
Now, Colin Wheeler brings up a point. Dank Farrick. That's not a point. That's a Star Wars reference. Where is the end credit scene? Otherwise, 8 out of 10, great episode. I say, bravo, no end credit scene.
So
Just like I find now that like movies and media rest so heavily, like that's a crutch. Like you don't like you go to see like a like a superhero film, a generic one, and it's sort of the end, sort of like blah, 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 and then it's the end. It's the ad for the next movie that people go out buzzing about. So I liked it. It did seem a bit of it for like actually no, I was blacking out because of the hat. Actually, the hat. If we had a heart like rate thing during that hat set, I was peaking. That what does everyone think of the hat? Can we get some comments on the hat, please?
now listen, I think that's goofy, but whatever, you know. So listen, do you want to know one of the goofy things I like about this episode is Din's continued use of the word buddy, because I call everybody buddy, right, buddy? Right? Like in the way he kept calling R5D4, who, by the way, a lot of my feelings match up with yours on the topic of that character's inclusion this season. But when he kept calling him buddy, I was like, that's my dude. He talks just like me, for real.
Yeah, I think once he jetpacked in, that was just like a Band-Aid right off. It's sort of...
We got to get you, he's got to get added to your wall of troll, right? Like with
I know,
C3PO's.
He's already on there.
Oh, really?
Because the Hasbro one opened up and they had that rocket firing thing in there.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so that's like one of the worst toys of all time. A Green Cow says, side note, the Steele Wars episodes where Harrison interrupts Steele melt my heart, 10 out of 10. Hopefully not tonight, because we've made special finale accommodations with the sound and stuff. Cutting Room 4 says, why did the Mandalorians need to get into their jump ships? They all had jetpacks. Bro, so they could do sessies onto the ramp. So
yeah, I think the answer there is because it looks cool, right?
Yeah, sessies.
It was awesome, dude. Whew. This is like, not to bring it, because I always talk about toys sometime, but like, man, do you know, I would go buy one of those Mandalorian gauntlet fighters so fast. I even started looking, I was like, surely they must have done one of those back when they were doing like Clone Wars toys and stuff, and they don't have one.
How about this? Zach Kavanagh says, thoughts on just flushing the Gideon clones and the entire point of episode 3 down the drain. I bought into the dastardly plan is revealed and then is stopped at the last moment. That like that whole part of the episode until the hat. I was sort of like, it wasn't what I expected, but I was sort of banging. I was terrified that Grogu was going to get a helmet.
Yeah, well, buddy, that's going to happen eventually.
But I'm so happy that droid's gone. The IG-12. They just didn't know what to do with Grogu. He's sort of.
I mean, I think
like this season, he really didn't add.
He didn't. And that was actually kind of why I liked the concept and execution of IG-12 in the last episode, because it gave him a little more autonomy in the story where he could participate in the events. But I also don't know that it would have been the best thing to keep around, right? Like you could see how they would lean on that too heavily going forward. Personally, I thought they did it enough featured it enough in these 2 episodes, right?
See, Sam Tasticon is here to make me feel sane. How's this one? Why would you clone your warrior self in your late 50s? because
Because
that's
he's a narcissist.
because that's the age the actor is, and you're watching a Star Wars show. That's why. Come on, come on. Oh, James Waterman says one of these clones is going to end up selling space meth out of a chicken shop on Tatooine.
Heck yeah. That's season 2 of Book of Boba Fett right there.
What else happened in the episode, Hawes?
Because it was kind of, oh, dude, I thought old Axe Woves was pretty sick this episode. Dude, like flying up into the out atmosphere, getting on the cruiser, getting everybody out, and then like taking on all the TIE fighters himself, and then doing like the maneuver. I was like, oh damn, they're gonna kill this dude. They finally gave him some lines, and they're nope, he's out the window, bro. He said, I'm not going out. Out the window. Loved it.
Made you realize how much you'd miss him.
Right, right.
And like the fact that like he did put it all on the line, and it was like I thought it was really well done the way they showed that him staying there made a difference. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't like
because that allowed right their fighters to go down and release the Mandalorians. They didn't have to get engaged with TIE fighters.
But then he did the kamikaze as well. Like they wouldn't have been able to do that. Randy's saying force field, and I don't know why.
Force field. Oh, the force field at the end with Grogu. He did a force field to save everybody.
Is that a pun?
Yeah, yeah. Certainly. I'm going to feel real dumb if that's not what he meant.
Did you see my tribute on Twitter to Randy's reaction?
I did. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty special. Cutting Room 4 says Axe Wolves, my favorite brand of deodorant. But yeah, so this Axe Wolves dude, I was like the way they set him up and that he did make a difference. And then he was going to do the nosedive. When he shot out and flew out, old Saunders on the couch, Axe, raised a fist.
Nice.
We should start a fan club called the Axe Handles.
Okay. The first 2 members here.
Who else wants to be in there? There's a few Axe. Okay, what about this one, Hawes? Tyler Grant. I thought it was unrealistic to leave the atmosphere with a jetpack. Bag riding. That's what an ironic end to the sentence.
Got him. Didn't bother me, buddy. I mean, the rules, the Star Wars rules for jetpacks are fast and loose, right? They do whatever they need them to do. Is one thing that's clear about jetpacks in Star Wars.
One thing that maybe David Collins can be credited for, it has been well established that there's some sort of seal. You always hear donk
Yeah.
or shh. So they did have that sound effect. So if that was me, if I had that issue, once I had that little fill in, that's a move along.
Yeah, maybe he means like the force required to get you out of atmosphere seems a little inadequate.
Who
But
can say, how do they even make the jetpacks go up, Hawes? Is it with their hands, their tongue?
I don't really know.
Dude, you love Boba Fett and you don't even know how he takes off.
I still can't believe Boba Fett wasn't in this
No,
season.
I want you to answer this question. How
I
do
think
they make-
it's their hands. They got little controls in their hands. Got him. Let's move on. Move along. Move along.
What about toes?
Well, hey, man, could be.
Hey, that's actually not a bad. I think I just pabloed.
They
myself.
wiggle their toes.
Oh, how about this? Zach Kavanaugh also ripped Darksaber.
I didn't see that. That was surprising to me because it's such a big deal and has been such a big deal in Star
that can
Wars.
only mean season 4.
It
Rebuild
get-
Darksaber.
Certainly. Yeah, he said it's activated by eyebrows in their head, their helmet.
Speaking of activated eyebrows, as a segue for you, Boo. How about the old classic guy in the chamber opening his eyes.
Oh, the jump scare that everybody would have seen coming. Yeah.
It made it worse that you saw it coming because I was sort of like, nah, they're not going to do it.
And sure enough, he did.
Yet the fight scenes were insane.
I love and effects wise, it might have been the part that maybe didn't hold up the most, but like the Mandalorians and the Imperials flying at each other fighting, like it was a little loosey goosey effect wise, but I thought it was sick.
Hawes. Read this one.
Johnny G says Skinny Pete with the sweet underground homegrown. My dude.
That was all the Mandalorian stuff I was loving while I was gritting my teeth through the other bit. The little scene where they went to the farm or the little oasis, that was so cool. Aubrey says I am whelmed.
So that doesn't mean she's underwhelmed or overwhelmed. She's like right in the middle, right?
Yeah, I think I'm like that. Like it was exciting to watch, but I didn't. I didn't leave like wow, what? Except when Axe Wills did that, and I did that actual.
I'll tell you this, I probably would have been more whoa if I didn't leave going, was that it? Was that like the end of Mandalorian? Like that left me, and like stupid me immediately was like, well, surely there'll be an article. Like, yeah, who's going to be putting up an article at 3 a.m. Central Time?
Peter Soretta would be.
Probably.
/film.com.
Yep. And editing videos about all the food at Super Mario World.
Oh my stars. So Steph, Jackie's sister, just loves that channel.
It's really good. They're really good. I watch it.
Oh no, but like it's just weird because it's one of our friends.
Right. Well, your friend. I don't know Peter. He probably don't. I don't know that guy.
It's great. You'd be great friends. But yeah, she's like it's full like celebrity status. Like
oh really? She's like, oh my god,
yeah, like freak out celebrity status. But what else have we got in the the cutting room floor? I'm so glad the Darksaber is gone. Sorry, I never cared for that bit of lore. I do have to say, what about that aerial jetpack Darksaber stabby stab
Loved
montage?
Loved it, man.
It was out of control. Oh, there was a sweet shot of Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon, and then in the background you could see all the people battling, kind of like the Return of the Jedi shot when you could see the battle out the Death Star window. It's like poetry at Rhymes Horse.
Or the fight on Geonosis when you can see all the little individual fights with different Jedi in the background. I really like, and I do. I think it's silly and like the most funny Star Wars way that the armorer uses her blacksmithing tools as weapons. But when she was flying around killing dudes with those, I thought it was pretty neat.
When they do that, I watched Gladiator the other day on the plane, and it's like that sort of battle, or the battles in Gladiator. It's just like, how's everyone not dead?
Right.
There's so many people just like, "Bleh!" Like how is not? It's not just like he gets him in the back and then he gets him like or her, but like there's just like But it's not how the TV and cinema industry work apparently. Yeah. How about Pedro? No Pedro.
Yeah, well, because he was not on set for a single minute of this season.
He dropped past once because he heard it was Taco Tuesday.
No, he was like, yeah, I should probably go in and say hey to everybody. Been filming The Last of Us, no big deal.
Okay, Aubrey says it was okay. Definitely a different pace and not the same wow factor as the last few seasons. If you compare all the finales, this one contrasts drastically. Ha ha.
Now listen, when you compare this finale to the finale of season 2, I totally agree. And there's not much that's going to replicate that shock and emotion and excitement with what they did in the season 2 finale. The season 1 finale was really good, but I feel like this finale matches up with the season 1 finale pretty well, right? Like if you think back, the big reveal of the season 1 finale is that Gideon has the Darksaber at the very end. And I feel like the scale of this one is way bigger than that season 1 finale.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like, when they were all fighting and that like light cruiser or whatever was crashing in, like that was gnarly.
Oh, and so, sorry to circle back around to this guy. Did you get a little bit of a episode 3 vibe from R5D4 messing with the mouse and the mouse droids messing with him? To me, that kind of reminded me of like R2 at the beginning of episode 3 when he's messing with. I mean, obviously it's a different circumstance because it's battle droids and stuff. But like they're contacting R2 trying to get help. He's contacting R5 trying to get help, and now he's getting hassled by some mouse droids.
Yes, it does remind me of a scene I equally dislike.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly why I wanted to bring it up, Steele, is because like I wanted to make that connection there for you, buddy.
Oh. And they had little like light up police sirens, like Harry's Playmobil Ghostbusters Ecto One. Spared no expense. Yeah, I just could have lived without that little bit of droid comedy in the drama of like just let me enjoy Mandalorians getting almost strangled and then firing people and stuff. David Lee says, disappointed not to see X-Wings joining the battle.
Now that would have been sick.
Yeah, but I don't think you can judge it on
Stuff
things.
not showing up.
Yeah, like...
Oh, listen, man.
Where was Leia in the Tantive 4? Where was
When
she?
I sit down and...
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Police Lights was weird.
When I sit down to like think of the series as a whole so far, I'm gonna be harsh on it for not including Boba Fett, man. And one throwaway line, get out of here. You're just gonna let that one marinate out there for a little while. Yeah, okay, buddy.
James Waterman says, if it wasn't R5, I think I'd like it more. I agree, James, but I'm far more negative than you, so I'd say I'd dislike it less. Oh, Justin Regas.
Sup. That's what's up, buddy.
Jedi Master of Truth. So this is a vetted source. Disappointing. It felt like they took my hand and ran with it. Finale felt rushed and terrible plot. I thought the middle bit of the plot was epic, but also, why not? Hear me out, everyone. Take episode 7 and 8 and just rewrite that so it's the whole season.
Right. Spend some more time on it and stuff. I could see that.
And so we know about the clones and stuff. Because that was
listen.
That was the council, the Shadow Council.
I'll say this, like,
oh, what happened with Pershing? He's just gone.
So hold on, no, for real though,
he's
like
off with Ahmed Best.
The shit, I just lost what I was gonna say.
I'll put that up and you just get
Thank
angry.
you.
Where's Boba? Asked Tim Prevost.
So you know what? As far as because I.
Sorry. Justin Rodriguez says, once the credits rolled, I said, love that. Can't wait to hear why people hated it.
Well, I loved it, buddy.
I had a great time.
Now, I'll say this. You were talking about last credit scenes and how you, applaud them for not doing one. I get it. The I could have gone like one that I think would have been kind of cool would have been like maybe another Shadow Council scene, like where they're discussing that Moff Gideon's dead, and throw the name Thrawn in there a couple of times, set up for Ahsoka. I could have gone with something like that because that Shadow Council stuff was real cool.
Yeah, I like that they made it to stand on its own 2 feet. Randy, the cursing user, says that's the deal. 3 episodes encompassed the meat of this entire season. Yeah, thankfully, nanobots didn't help them
Oh,
restore Mandalore.
that'll be next season.
Yeah, what else went down, Hawes, in this?
I mean, we've hit a lot of the big stuff. It was a very action-oriented episode.
Oh, wait,
you know what
oh, sorry, Hawes. I just want everyone to chime in their thoughts about the hat.
Oh, so Zach brings up something that, what is up with Mandalorian naming convention, by the way? Din Grogu? You mean Din is that man's last name this whole time?
So his name's Jaren.
I get. She said you are now Din Grogu.
Hey, James Waterman poses the question, didn't Filoni wear the hat in the Zeb episode too? Did he?
Mm-hmm.
No way. So I just blocked that out.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Huh.
Yeah, and then all like Sabine Wren and all her family all have the last name Wren. That's a little loosey goosey.
Yeah, that seems odd, but I couldn't care less. I could a little,
I just want to know, man.
not much. What does Steve Violent say? With subtitles on, Grogu was laughing when he was facing off the Praetorian guards.
I heard it. I didn't watch it with subtitles, but I heard him laughing and thought it was a funny detail.
I just wanted to see Din Grogu get more Jedi training. He almost has 1,000 years to be a Mando and Jedi. Ben loved the hat. Blocked and reported Ben. Jeez. No, it's fine. We welcome hat lovers. And Hawes is a hat guy.
I'm a
Did you
hat
know that?
guy. Yeah, I'm rocking the Vladi Divac, huh?
The I wouldn't have minded a more forceful Grogu. Really assert himself, like he did the Force bubble, but that really it's like poetry. It rhymes.
And some force pushes and some force pulls.
On the end of season 1 where he did the fire block, but yeah, I wanted to really see him like crush some Praetorians.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would have been neat if Din opened the door and the Praetorians are just toast already. You know what I mean? You don't think so? Okay.
Too cute. I want to see it.
No, I mean we get to see it, but I like
okay.
the idea of Din thinking
Got
he's
you.
in
Okay.
trouble, and no, I still think we get to see it.
Okay, fine.
Show don't tell.
Excellent. The Mythosaur thing at the end was just,
Yeah, he was like, huh? What? All right.
yeah, I just thought you could just leave it because it did. The ending did feel a bit Return of the King.
It did. It kept going, and that's what I'm telling you, man. It feels like the last episode of the series. I don't think it is, but they sure. Like if that's how they want to wrap up this arc, then that's cool. Like I get it. We can sort of start fresh with the next season, but we know there's limited time too before the movie.
And because when Grief Karga's explaining stuff, like, but you can still go on your adventures. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're really spelling out about what season 4 will be about.
At least to start off, for
Yeah,
sure.
But then, yeah, as it went on, I'm like, is this the last? Like, and the zoom in, which if it's the last one, that would make me forgive it because I didn't like it for the end of a Star
I
Wars
didn't either.
thing.
Yeah,
But
one of my small complaints.
what if, right, ignoring Grief Karga's comment, which is very confusing, this is it for Mandalorian until the movie.
It could be.
And that's like the returning great coming back into headline WrestleMania.
You know, and so honestly, I wouldn't. I was about to say he might show up, right, in some of the other series. Ahsoka, not that this has stopped them, but doesn't seem like it would be the easiest. Well, I don't know. He did mention something to Carson Teva about he's going to help him patrol the outer rim, right?
Yeah, but that could just be setting up what's he been doing.
That's true.
There's a bit of chatter about the name first. I just think it doesn't.
Yeah, I saw somebody, maybe Aubrey, I can't remember. Somebody said maybe that's just what they do in the covert, right? Like, okay, I thought it was interesting. Like, Dan Grover.
Yeah, it's at AT-AT for me.
Fair enough.
How old is Bo-Katan by this point, roughly? I thought she was like 55 or something.
Yeah, she's somewhere in her 50s, I believe, at this point.
What else is happening here? God, the fight scenes were good.
They were, and I gotta say, like the changing the shields, and then Din would fight the two guards, right? And he was like, I don't have any weapons. And you'd see him like pick up different weapons, lose different weapons, use their shields. They were using those stun batons from the sequel trilogy at one point too. Mm-hmm. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I just like it. It was the droid that was on the Lars homestead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, when do you reckon it went and fought in the rebellion? Before or after Star Wars?
Oh, buddy. I don't know. Maybe we're going to see him in an episode of Bad Batch Season 3.
Ooh. Yeah, we mentioned this before. Tim Previs says Grogu force assist in the fight was cool.
It was.
That was yeah, I have to say I thought that like the post before the hat when I blacked out, the way they ended it was pretty dope. Like I wasn't like a massive fan of the doing the force field again, but it was like fine. But the whole thing, I found it actually like really like enthralling Star Wars.
Yeah, and I like the scene at the Living Waters with all the Mandalorians and their cool drums. I really like the scene where they relight the Great Forge and everybody starts doing for Mandalore, and you see like covert Mandalorians hanging out with, Bo-Katan's faction of Mandalorians. I thought that was real cool.
How's that forge fueled?
Hopes and dreams, baby.
Like if it's gas, like wouldn't the gas just be running into that room before they lit it? Or they just have a lighter under, like they just like pull the thing out to get it going.
Yeah, it's got a pilot light, like a water heater.
Okay, all right, sweet. James Waterman comforts me with Steele. I'm in agreement. Had a freak out moment about this whole R5 thing a few weeks ago. Like when? How? Yes.
It is, to me, the thing that makes the least sense in any of the Star Wars shows so far as him referring to R5 as a hero of the rebellion.
Yeah, I guess. It's just a bit of spice at the end. Tharl Unfiction says Boba Fett left out. Cry, odd man out. Where is
That
Boba?
bump, man. Oh no, man.
Okay,
Do you-
someone's with me. Sorry, Hawes, but somebody's with me about this. How did Grogu get into the base?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what they're doing with Boba, buddy. I don't know. At this point, I guess I just gotta hope that he's in the big movie, right? Because
He has. Yeah. I would say you have to be. I mean,
I like how you stopped and it's just sort of being like, oh yeah, you were like, well, hold on, let's hold on. I don't know, man. Yeah,
I just think with that Filoni film, let's get it up right there. If we're going to talk about the man, let's revel in the hat. I just feel like for that film that's going to culminate, I just think it's all hands on deck.
everybody that's been involved in the story that's still around,
Dude,
right?
the myth roll's going to be showing up.
No, he is not. Maybe played by a different actor.
Oh, did that actor?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, hey, is that Walter?
That is Walter.
Excellent. Oh, I miss having a cat interrupt the podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay. This is funny. James Waterman writes, seriously, we should have gotten a Boba Fett post-credit scene like Ferris Bueller looking at the camera like going, you still here? Go home. It's over. Mm-hmm. You remember seeing that in the cinema and just like, how did he know?
Oh, I think I didn't get a chance. I don't think I saw that in cinema. I think I
okay.
saw it at home.
Steve Violent says, I know this episode was corny, but I'm glad all the Mandos actually worked together and didn't backstab, especially Axe. I thought it did veer into the realm of corniness.
Yeah, but it was it was the particular brand of Star Wars corny I like, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I definitely like a ragtag group coming together. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, does the Filoni movie happen if Ahsoka is as bad as this? I think because Filoni's writing all those, yeah.
The Ahsoka show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's
We'll see.
let's see it. But it could be definitely the ones he co-wrote this season were better. I assume he co-wrote this one as well, or am I wrong?
I don't know. I didn't. I was so concerned, being like, "Are they going to do Is this the end of the whole series? Are they about to do a post-credit sequence?" That I didn't even see.
Oh my God, Hawes, Nick Webster wants to know who are the spies then.
Okay.
No,
So-
no, Nick, you just have to rewind about.
Yeah.
It'll be on the screen actually. We had the little thing come up and say it, but Hawes, it's a biblical reference that means people going into a land or something. So it was the Mandalorians were the spies. It's a different use of the word. We all got tricked. James Waterman's got a comment about the cleanliness of Mando helmets, which is just veering unreportable. Grateful Dead thinks it's a lol that it was corny.
Listen, I think so. I acknowledge it, but it's my favorite kind of corny in Star
Yeah.
Wars. So, you know.
Corny stuff can be good, Grateful Dead Pat.
Have you ever seen Bloodsport? It's awesome, but it's
Bro.
very corny.
Have you ever heard Chicago? Oh my stars. Grateful Dead Pat still has the comment, the critique of it should have been Grogu Dajan, though right. So I like that everyone's still got a little gripey gripe. Mm-hmm. Oh, and James Waterman is going to get fired up about bricks and screws. That'll have to be a super chat, mate.
We might have to shut down the stream if we're going into the bricks and screws conversation.
SB Uno wants to know what did I miss? What the perceived meaning of the spies was 2 times. That is what you've missed. Justin Rodriguez says Din Grogu rolls off the tongue better, I think. Hey,
He's right.
each to their own, and they are fictional characters, but I think I'm going to stick with Grogu.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Grogu.
Much as Harry is stuck with Baby Yoda. And Yoda, funnily enough, is called Old Baby Yoda.
Nice. You know what? My nephew, who's maybe just a year older than Harry, I think, he calls Din Djarin Boba Fett, and he calls Boba Fett fake Boba Fett.
Oh,
And my brother-in-law was so excited to have him drop that on me the last time I was home. He was like, "Hey, Jackson's been watching Mandalorian, right?" And I was like, "Oh, really? What do you think?" And he goes, "I love Boba Fett." And I was like, "We got one!" And my brother-in-law was like, "Tell him, who is Boba Fett?" And he goes, "He's the Mandalorian." And I'm like, that's what I was, wait a second. He goes, "Yep, he's got the silver helmet. He hangs out with Baby Yoda." And there's another guy who wanted the armor he had. That's fake Boba Fett.
oof.
I was like, you know what? I'm going home.
That stings. James Waterman says, I'm still with Yoju, which was a great potential name. Thorough Unfiction is happy to report that Skinny Pete lived.
He sure did. That's why we got to get a season 4. More Skinny Pete.
Yeah, I wonder what's next for the Californian-based production team.
It's a good question because Acolyte isn't done filming yet, but it's filming in the UK. Andor's not done filming yet, and it's filming in the UK. That's a very good question. It's got to be something, you know? I would assume a second season of Ahsoka. I would assume Mando season 4, you know?
I reckon a definite second season of Ahsoka.
Yeah. But, supposedly they're trying to get this Mando movie out in 2026, right? So Kathleen Kennedy said, or I can't remember. There's been so many articles since Celebration. They said
Wouldn't it be 2027?
that they're planning on the Rey movie being in 2025 and would like to follow that up with Dave Filoni's movie a year later.
But isn't there
An Avatar? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Like release schedule wise. What if it's just a Disney Plus movie?
No.
I don't think so either. I think that is not going to be what they do. But and I don't even know that this might have been like Hollywood Reporter or something like that. I don't know that it was an official statement from Kathleen Kennedy.
James Waterman wants Bob Odenkirk in there as Thrawn's lawyer. He'd be good. What was that? Who was that character that was Thrawn's offsider in those books?
Pelion.
No. In the new canon books.
Oh, I can't remember. I've only read the first of those.
He was dope.
He
I
was.
loved him.
So, but what I was getting around to, like, let's say hypothetically that movie is going to come out in 2026. That's realistically 2 more years after this for TV shows, right? So how many seasons of, they could maybe do one more, right? They could maybe do one more season of Ahsoka after this year with the time it takes to film and then release them. So I don't know.
I reckon that's the last Mandalorian.
You think so? You think that they sunset that character until the movie and then he shows back up?
I don't know. but yeah.
He might show up in some of the other shows. I hope it's not.
I reckon, because you got to think about what's going to make people go watch these TV shows at the movies. And if you haven't seen, if they're teaming up, and it could be.
So, like, I see a lot of people saying in the chat, like, yeah, but Jon Favreau said he's writing season 4. So he also said he was writing the next season of Mandalorian when he was actually writing Book of Boba Fett, right? He also said that there was no endpoint in mind recently, and then they reveal a movie that's going to be the endpoint. So I don't know if everything he says is to be taken 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's lying.
No, he could, like,
there is. I'm sure he does answer some questions.
yeah, well, so if we use the Boba Fett example, he could be writing another season of a show that's set in this.
From a certain point
Yeah.
of view.
Season 4 is not already filmed and ready. It is not. It is 100% not.
Come on. All right, dude. Should we wrap it on up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning here.
Oh yeah. Hey, hit like and comment underneath if you'd like to help out, and algorithm,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Bones F says it was proper Star Wars, but way too short.
I could have used a little longer runtime too, even if it was just more runtime devoted to showing us cool stuff.
Alrighty. Well, I think this episode has gone on
long enough.
So, Hawes, Blue Harvest podcast will be up
sir.
this Friday with Will.
Of course. Ooh, and can I cut in real quick and say we're going to be doing a live stream for our 400th episode / 8th anniversary on May the 4th. So come hang out.
Excellent. What day is May the 4th on?
A Thursday.
Interesting.
If you want to come, I'm going to be sending invites to people, anybody that wants to come by.
Delightful. All right, we'll talk then. Thanks so much, Hawes. Thanks for everyone. I am relieved the season's over.
Yeah, I'm going to be bummed next Tuesday. I'll be honest with you. I'll be bummed that I don't have it to look forward
So
to.
will I.
But there is a new Star Wars video game next week.
Not for me.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I was in a very excited mood all day. So next week I will miss it. But I'm just, I'm happy with how it ended, except for the hat.
Fair enough.
What that? Do I have to go back and watch the other one now to see?
Yeah, to verify proof of life of the hat.
Insane. All right. I'll talk to you.
Sounds good, buddy.